Hello, hello. Welcome to the Sitdown with Stand-Up Comedians. I'm your host, Eddie You the Man. This is a podcast where we try to find out where does funny come from. Spoiler, it's usually trauma. Remember to like and subscribe, start a conversation in the comments, and hit the notification bell. Find us at Sitdown Podcast Milano on all social media platforms, and this is a Arcade Studio production. Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. And for those watching, this is the Sit Down with Stand-Up Comedians. I'm your host, Eddie You the Man. And today we have our guest, Gianni Gao. Hello, Johnny. How are you?
Hello, I'm pretty good.
Doing good. How are you? Can you introduce yourself? Who you are, where you're from, and everything like that?
All right, kind of nervous, but sure. My name is Gianni. I'm 25. What else? That's it. That's my thing. That's
your thing. Okay.
That's it. Now, I work. I don't know. What do you even say? Like,
So tell me about like comedy. How did you get into comedy?
comedy. I guess it was something that I always thought about doing. Like, not always. I always thought about doing something like related to comedy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know if it was like stand up or writing. But we have to go back like a lot actually.
You write too?
No, I don't know, because I studied economics in university, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I always thought about going a more like typical route,
Mm-hmm.
like either work in a company or work in my parents' business.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried both, and at some point I thought about doing something that I really enjoy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, what am I good at? Like I was looking for something that like I guess a purpose almost. Like I don't know, like something that I wanted to do something that I enjoyed, and also that's something that I thought I was good at.
Yeah.
And I guess throughout my life, like I had friends, and I had like a lot of confirmation, like I don't know, from friends or from family, and I guess that was kind of funny, right?
Yeah.
And I thought an avenue to do that
Yeah.
was comedy.
Yeah.
So, but I put it in the back burner for like years, like for 2 years at least before trying stand up, because I thought, I don't know, I had to go to the UK or to the US to try it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at some point, like circumstances, of course, like it's not that easy just to move out of Italy, and I don't know. Also, I had obligations in my family and work, so it was hard. And then at some point, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do it.
Mm.
And I wrote on Google stand-up comedy in Milan,
Yeah.
and I found one in Italian, and I went, and it was an open mic.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty fun, but I always thought of like comedy, like stand-up comedy especially, was something in English, right?
Yeah.
So I found Yellow D Comedy. I went to Yellow Square, and I was like, okay, maybe I can do this. I can just at least try, right?
Yeah,
At least try and see how it is.
Yeah.
So I went to Yellow Square. I at the end of the night, I went to Delia. I asked her like if I could, try and try like an open mic, right?
Yeah.
And that was like April last year.
Yeah. I think I remember that. I think it was there. Yeah. When you.
Maybe, yeah. And then
Yeah.
I asked, and then the next time was in Ostello Bello in Centrale,
Yeah.
and that was my first time. And I don't know.
It's
like
interesting.
Yeah, it's really like a broad
Yeah.
question. Like I don't know.
No, but it's funny because you said this thing that I think I think we've had like a lot of conversations because we're like have a work relationship, like we're friends, but also we do comedy together. But we have a lot of conversations, and one thing I actually realized is that I think we have like a lot of things in common because also I was like on the route of like studying economics at a business school. I was like, like do I want to do this? Like, fuck no, And then like my father has a business, and so I grew up my whole life going and working for my father, like a lot of my time. Like I remember like 5-year-olds like rigid the cash register. He's like, "Is this child labor?" It's like, "No, but I'm not gonna pay it." Yeah, but I'm not gonna pay it. But it's all the same thing. Like the idea of like and then like I didn't want to do that. Like it's like, what do I do? Do I do the business because I've been in business? I know it. I've been growing up in it, and also but like not feeling that's me, you know, and then like, you know, looking for something that's kind of has that creative. So I think that's really interesting because a lot of like comedians always say like there was something, like, yeah, I was looking for something, you know, there's this corner that I was like, yeah, there was something and it wasn't given to me. I feel like I want something more. And then like, you know, you do comedy, you get set up for it, and then you're there like, yeah, you know what? I like this. This might be it, you know?
Yeah, I like the idea of doing like just having something that you enjoy doing. Like some people just work and maybe, you know, they don't have anything to do in their free time, and I don't know, I don't know, having a purpose. It's just having a purpose.
Yeah, you work fine, you pay your bills, but then you want to do something that makes you feel alive. You know, you want to be like, okay, you have that. You know, I got the nervousness, but also the idea of like, ooh, you know, is it gonna do this, and is it gonna go good, and I'm gonna see my friends, and I'm gonna see people, and you know, that excitedness that makes it like, okay, I'm not just going to bed after work and wake up and do the same thing, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
I think I got here, I was like, oh, how's it? It's like, it's another day. It's another day. It's another day. Perfect. So, did you want to say something? Or?
No.
Okay, perfect. So first what we're going to do is we're going to watch your video. So we have a spit that Johnny has sent to us before. We're going to watch it together. And then after this, we're going to, like, you know, you're going to tell me a little bit more about it, explain it to me. And then we have, you tell me how you came up with that idea. And then we just discuss about essentially. Okay. So let's go.
Yes, go.
I can say whatever I want. No, man. I'm Miss Gianni, and as you can tell from my name and from my face, I am gay. No, Okay. I thought about it. I feel like my life could be a little bit easier if I was gay. Let me explain. I feel like I could end any argument by saying, I'll suck your cock. Any argument. Doesn't matter. You can end in two ways. You can be like, ew! Or, I'll start sucking your cock. Man, woman, doesn't matter. My mom doesn't like it. My dad does. Speaking of my dad, he's Chinese, but he was born in China. Nothing special. Nothing special. And he has never experienced racism because he's racist. Now, he doesn't think he's racist. He's like, I just think Chinese people are better than everyone. Especially Japanese people. It's weird. It's weird. Like,
so we gotta cut it there, but yeah, okay, that's really interesting. I like that. Yeah,
it's my new bit, I guess.
Yeah. So tell me, explain this bit to you. Thanks.
Like from the beginning, right?
In general, like, explain like how you came up with this idea, the process, and what's the meaning behind it. Not get too deep in it, but just in general. Like, how did you come up with this bit?
Like, mainly my writing is mostly like I don't write on the computer. I can't sit down on a computer and just start writing. I usually, like, most of my ideas come out like randomly in my day, like during my day. I come up with a funny idea and I write it down on my phone. And then the real writing, I guess, starts like me just rambling, saying random words, just talking nonsense, and then until at some point just something funny comes out. I don't know. Like this bit is like specifically like, for example, the beginning where I make a face or whatever is just me, I don't know, just kind of releasing the nervousness almost. Like it just it's weird because I haven't, like, I remember the first time I did that, it wasn't like I haven't decided it until the point I did it. Like I didn't like decide to do that like the night before. Like while I was waiting for my turn, I was like, I'm just gonna do this. I think it's funny just doing it randomly, right? Just pausing, looking at the crowd, and just making a face.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just I think it's just funny because no one expects it.
Yeah.
And then the introduction, which is a really really old bit. I feel like every I don't know, like every bit needs to start with an introduction because I feel like I don't know, the public need. I don't know who's watching you needs to know who you are first.
Yeah.
Like at least like one introduction.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And
So like the first version of that was like, my name is Gianni. Some people call me Giovanni. Some people call me Johnny. Some people call me Chinchulin. That's the easiest. Like I don't know. It's but now it has become like, as you can tell from my face and from my name, and then you expect that I'm gonna say I'm Italian.
Misdirection.
But I say I'm gay.
Yeah.
But because just random, like
Yeah.
you don't like most of comedy is just making you expect something, and with a setup, and then with the punchline, you just completely, you know, how do you say it in English? Like
Like you sway them another way.
Yeah,
Like we're gonna go this way. Oh no, we're going that way.
Yeah,
Exactly.
right.
And that's funny because first I want to say, like, you have to know that I've seen you from the start, and I distinctively remember when you came back, and you came back a whole new man.
Really?
You came back with blonde hair. You know, I remember this. I was like, oh shit.
Really?
Yeah, I remember you dyed your hair. I was like, oh man. I was like, ooh. And you came back, and I was just like, oh, okay, this guy's serious. So I was like, it can only go two ways. It's gonna be really good or really bad. Because if you dye your hair like that, that's saying something. And I think because I remember you from when you did your bits before, and you were good, and I think you were trying to understand the crowd more, and so I know that like the crowd was liking it, but also there was like, okay, you have to understand your crowd, everyone. But when you came back, that's why I really wanted to have you on, because I have to say you made a transformation that was just like, wow. I was like, oh shit, this is different. Like I felt like when you got on that stage with your blonde hair, which I was like, okay, I'm seeing it. I'll give you my popcorn. I was like, I want to know what you want to say. And when you put that, you started that, I was like, this guy understood his niche. He understood what he's doing. And I was like, wow, I was thinking I was sitting next to someone who's been doing it for years. And it was like it switched like that. That's why I was so like, and the thing about the pauses and the face, and it's true, like you have to introduce yourself to your crowd, because every single time you have new people, they don't know who you are. But the way you do it from the get-go, people are laughing, and you can hear like people. You have this constant like rhythm, and I remember you were telling me, you're like, oh, you do a lot of pauses, right?
Yeah. Because in the beginning, of course, I wasn't comfortable with the crowd. Like I was always nervous. I was trying to get through my bits like as fast as I could. Like I don't know. I feel like the more I did it, and the more I seen more like other comedians do it, especially like I went to some Italian open mics, and I really saw like I guess a little bit of higher level of comedy, and people who like had a style of comedy which was more like awkward, and they were comfortable with that awkward feeling. And then I was like, maybe I could do that too, like just embrace the nervousness and just it's okay if you take a pause. It's okay if you just think about it more. You don't have to rush it. And after I realized I could be comfortable with the awkwardness and just make it funny, like when you're completely quiet and just look at the crowd, sometimes it's so awkward that it's funny sometimes. And when you realize that, when I realized that, I felt like I could just being less nervous and have that style, I guess. Just like pauses, like I don't know. I guess it's just a new technique that I added to my.
Which is interesting, because like a lot of people always think like, because you're nervous when you get up there. You see a lot of people watching you, and everyone's eyes on you, and they're like, "What do you have to say?" Like, "Are you funny though?" Are you funny though? You know. And so they have a lot of expectations, and so like you have to, there's that silence. and you have to fill that silence. And a lot of people, I think even when people are talking, people want to fill that silence all the time. And sometimes it's just good to have that silence, you know? Because I think what you're doing here is also really great, because what you're doing is like, you're saying, I know it's silent. I know it's awkward. I'm going to own that. And now I'm going to make it my thing. So now the silence is part of it. And now it's like an interesting thing, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Like, it's, I don't know, I feel like I'm still improving. Like, I feel like my comedy it's simple. Like, it's not really like clever. It's like, I don't know, like some comics like make a setup and the punchline like relate to each other. My punchlines are more like just something like unexpected and a funny word possibly. You like that's why, like, I don't know if it's politically correct, but saying gay is kind of funny. I don't know. Just, I mean, to me.
Yeah.
But also like just like for now, like I feel like I'm still in the beginning stages, because and my jokes are structured almost always the same. Like, it's just setting expectation and just how do you say it, like and denying that expectation, like
knock it down.
Knock
Like,
it out,
you thinking of that? Psych.
Yeah,
Get out of here. You're like, got that ball?
Yeah.
Bye. No. No.
Yeah,
It's
and I'm writing like that just to be like get more experience writing like that. But at some point, I would like to add more styles. Like I would like to have like more storytelling, rants, like Bill Burr. I like him a lot. I also like Louis C.K. of course, and I don't know, adding like all those little bit from their styles to mine. I don't know, it's weird. Like, I don't know.
No, I see you. No, I think we had this discussion. Well, first you said something that was very interesting, because I remember you said, like, there's a moment and you're like, I'll do this phase, but like I didn't think about it before. First, for me, I don't write anything down. I have never written a joke down. I find that process really hard for me to do, because I'm thinking faster than I'm writing. And as I'm writing, I'm like, what did I? So I've never, none of my jokes I've written down. I've always memorized it. I'm more like I'm going to speak it out loud and just repeat it over and over again. And I'm just like fixing the story, because I'm a storyteller. So I'm fixing the story in my head, and I find that. But I also find, like, right before stage or even on stage, there's this thing that said, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to say this. And I'm there, I'm like, let me change that real quick. And then just change that. Like, oh, shit, that works, you know? And it's reading the crowd and reading the people and all that stuff. So, like, a lot of people think, oh, you have a set, you're reading it, and that's the thing. But as you go up there, you're like, nah, this doesn't go. Because maybe you see another comedian do something, like, I was going to do that, but the crowd doesn't seem really receptive to that. So I got to do something else. You know?
Yeah, I do that too. Like, when I begin my joke, and I see how it goes, I can feel what makes the crowd laugh. And I cannot, it's weird, because maybe I decide, like when I'm, on stage, to not tell certain jokes, because I feel like it's not gonna work. Like just instinctively. And on stage, like I make a lot of, like, that's why there are open mics. Like that's where you can tell what's actually funny and what's actually not funny, and decide if keep some jokes or like not to keep
it's reading the crowd. It's reading them. So let's go to, so of course I have some questions. I kind of forgot it, but like, okay. So we're talking about this joke, right? And then there's some thoughts. One thing I wanted to say is, like, okay, so obviously you're gay. No. You're Chinese, and you're Chinese Italian. So I wanted to ask you, like how was that growing up? Because the funny thing is, as I don't think a lot of people know, I should have been Italian. Well, I should have been born in Italy, Yeah. My brothers were like born in Tuscany, like Prato and Pistoia. My mom, she was like pregnant with me here, and she went to the doctors. They said, you should abort, and she's like, nah, I'm gonna go to the States. So she went like 8 months pregnant and had me in Chicago, and that's why I'm American. And so like I have this, and my parents are both Nigerian, so I have this like Nigerian parents living in the States with their idea of what life is, and then like me as a first generation there, I'm like fuck, like this is not like like.
Wait, are your brothers also like? Are they Italian or?
Well, you know, here in Italy,
Yeah,
it
you
doesn't
don't
work
get
like
it, yeah,
that.
you don't get
It doesn't work like that,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So they were born in Italy, but they're not
Yeah.
Italian. So I got lucky because I got born in the States and now I'm American. You can't
Right.
take that away. I'm like, yeah, I could be president, but I'd rather be a comedian. But,
Right.
but yeah, so like I knew for me, part of me being, I think, being a comedian is that idea of like seeing my parents who are Nigerian having this cultural difference, and then also going to school. I'm like, yeah, but you know, I was never like I was like, okay, the American but also Nigerian culture clash with all that stuff.
Well, this topic is like really, really broad. What I can say is that like the Chinese community in Italy is very, very big, and I think it's very different from like the Asian community or Chinese community in the U.S., for example. Here, I'm first generation, and most of the Chinese people like my age are first. Like my parents are first generation, right? Technically.
What? Who were born here?
I was born here.
Oh,
so
you're first generation.
I'm first generation. Then most of my people, like the broad majority of people, are like first generation max, like or second generation, and like we are still in the process of integration in Italy. But in the U.S., what I noticed that like the Asian community is almost completely like integrated. Like it's weird because they're like fourth, fifth generation. Like, and you can see that they're like I still have a lot of sides of my personality or of my culture like still like very, very Chinese. I hang like most of my best friends are Chinese. It's like instead of like I speak Chinese also like, but not like of course not as well, but I still like to my parents I speak Chinese. But in the US it's so different. Like they're Asian, like you can see that they're Asian, but they're American. Like they're American. You can see that you can tell when you speak to them. It's very different. Like also like when I go to the US. There is like a different vibe almost like
You've been to the US.
Yeah, I've been to the US. I've been to New York and Miami and
Miami's not
St.
the US.
Petersburg.
That's another country in itself. Man.
Right.
I've been there. Crazy stories.
Right.
Yeah.
I went to like St. Petersburg and Tampa and I don't know. Like it's just I don't know. Here, like when it's in the process of integration, it's very different from the US or even the UK. Like the UK also they're like the third, fourth generation, and I can explain it like logically, but it's like even when I walk down the street, it's different. Like when I go, like I don't know, like when I walk around in the US, I feel like almost it's I'm here, like I'm a guy.
Yeah.
I'm a guy.
Oh yeah.
I'm a guy.
I'm Johnny. Yeah. Hello.
Here there's still some, there's still like some people, of course here in Milan it's better, but there's still some, I'm Chinese, right? I'm not just Johnny, I'm Johnny and I'm Chinese.
Yeah.
And in the US it's just, okay, I'm Asian, okay, sure, but I don't know, like I don't know how to explain it, but here there are still some people who are surprised when I speak Italian, right?
Yeah,
like,
I think I remember this. Like, there was a comedian, and he's talking to you in English. It's like, no. Like,
Yeah.
I'm Italian. I can speak. And he kept talking to you. And you started speaking Italian. It's like, oh, you speak. Yeah.
It is funny because I can fuck with people, right? Especially like during those English open mics. I can just speak English and at some point just speak Italian. But it's weird because to me it's not that strange. I know so many Chinese people who speak perfect Italian, and but yeah, it's I guess like being Chinese. It's in Italy. It's I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. Like it's so broad. Like there's so many topics.
I feel you. I mean, I'm here as an American in Italy, but I'm not American. I'm like a Black American. So it's here. It's an old style of thinking that's still like there. Like it's very much like older generations.
But I don't like. What I'm trying to say. I don't feel like Italians like. On average, are all racist.
Yeah.
Or what I'm
we
saying.
haven't said those words.
What I'm trying to say is more like we're still integrating.
Yeah.
There's still,
of course.
I'm sure like my my children, the children of my children are gonna be like, I don't know, like we still, it feels like we are behind the U.S. By a couple of generations.
Yeah.
And at some point, in the future, I'm sure it's gonna be like pretty normal. Like, for example, like my classmates, like my Italian friends, like who I grew up with, they don't care. Like they have a different like mindset compared to my like their parents or their parents' parents. So
I also feel like I'm like, as always, I'm a tutor. So I always go into people's houses. I see they're like, and like then later on, it's like I got used to it. Like it's like it's learning because I have a Italian girlfriend. She's always saying, everything came here much later. Italy's always behind the mark with a lot of stuff. So everything like France, the US, UK, a lot of people migrated there a lot earlier, and this is happening now. So I feel that. And so you have that. But
it is a hard topic. I feel like I'm not equipped to. But
it's like, okay, doctor, give me the expert. No, it's just your experience. That's it.
I'm just saying experience.
No, because I feel the same thing all the time in different ways. But it's interesting because you talk about it here in your comedy. Like you say, like oh, I'm Chinese, I don't know, whatever, and then your dad and all that stuff.
Yeah. Like I feel like I just started and something like I don't know. It's easy, like when like when I think about my jokes, like talking about yourself, it's the easiest thing, like to come up with topics. And usually I talk about myself, about my family. It's something that I'm trying to like, not like I don't know, like I'm trying to. How do I say?
Try not to do it as much.
I'm trying not to do as much because I feel like it's easy. I want to do like, just to push myself more, just do something outside of it. But of course, I'm gonna like, I don't know.
I know. But it's the thing is about the comedians and about comedy in general. It's like you are talking about yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why you do it. It's like your own idea of yourself and your perspective on life. So, I mean, you can talk about even the most mundane things and most basic things, but also still your perspective from your point of view.
Like what I'm trying to say is just I feel like I'm still developing, right? I'm trying to improve my like technical skill instead of my. I can talk about I don't know, my family and my life, but I feel like I want to improve like my skills before I'm able to talk about serious stuff like my life, I guess. But especially in the beginning, just talk about yourself because you're not gonna find out. Like it's gonna be hard, like looking at other topics and make it funny. But so here I decided to talk about my dad because, like to me, I don't find a lot of things funny about my dad. I don't know. But I'm sure like because it's normal, like his behavior, how he acts, it's normal to me. But I'm sure like looking from the outside, it's very different, and there is some like there is funny in that
because it's a cultural difference.
And
I think it's my father is very like my dad doesn't remember any of my friends' names. He's like, who's that? Who's the Indian one? It's like, she's not Indian, dad, but that's just how he is, he's just like
like my dad is so different from like any like I don't know normal like Italian, right? He's the average Chinese guy, like 50-year-old Chinese. Like there are so many like my dad. And I started talking about my dad, and then I guess the thing about like he doesn't experience racism. Like he hasn't experienced racism. I mean, I'm sure he has experienced it, but he doesn't register it because he doesn't care. Like he has other priorities.
Oh, that's interesting.
Like, it's weird because
fuck your racism. I have work in the morning. Like I got a business. I have family. I have kids.
It's so weird because because well, apart from the fact that he doesn't speak Italian very very well, but I'm sure that doesn't matter. But I'm sure like there were some people that I don't know were racist towards him, but he doesn't really care.
But also this thing about like you said like my father's like the average Chinese guy that but I think it's true, which is funny. It's not funny. It is funny, but it's funny in the sense of like that's what all comedy is. It's taking like, no, this guy is acting really, really common, but he's in another environment. That's what makes it funny. It's like this guy, like, you know, I think like most comedians, like, yeah, he was always gonna do this thing, whatever. But it's funny not because he did it, but he did it in this environment because it's different. I think it's taking one person and putting them in another environment and saying, oh, you see how there's this interactions happening, because a lot of the funniest things that it's miscommunication, misunderstandings, and you're like, oh, we see it but don't see it, and so we have this like, you know,
and I don't know, it's like a lot of the times I speak like about my life, and some things are true and some things are not true. Like I just want to make it funny, even if it's not true, like anything. And I don't know. I had this thing stuck in my mind, like about you know, the comedian Bobby Lee. I was watching his podcast with Andrew Santino, and there was one sentence that really stuck in my mind where like Santino said, Bobby will do anything to make people laugh. Anything. He will pull down his pants and show his penis to any, like he will do anything. And that stuck in my mind. I was like, like I should do that too. Like I shouldn't care what I say on stage. I should just say it, because at the end of the day, I'm just trying to make people laugh. Anything to make people laugh. Just being desperate to do it. Don't have an ego about it. There's nothing like you are too you know, you're too high up to say it. Like just get in the mud, just roll in it. It's I don't know.
I think that's like what makes comedy fun for me, is because you could say anything, you know. I mean, not anything, but you can still like I think it's not that you can't say anything. You have to say anything and make it funny, but you have the freedom to be like goofy, stupid, act it out, or just whatever in the name of comedy, as long as you know the lines. And you can, I think it's always about going to the lines and seeing how far, but without like really like, okay, you know, like
I mean, of course, like a lot of comedy, like it's context, right? It's it's the intention. Like I don't know. It's like I'm still a beginner. I don't know why I'm saying this. Like
no, I mean, this is your experience. That's why I wanted, like, a lot of people like, oh, but I'm not. No, this is your experience. You've been doing this for a year, and so this is how I want to see how you see world. You know, because that's you are learning and whatever. So am I. I'm learning. I'm not like an expert here either, but I'm here doing this. But it's interesting because we do have our stories, and that's the thing. And it's like also for other people to understand who've never done it. You know, so
like. On stage, of course, like there are some people who can say anything, whatever, but like, are you saying it because you feel like you can say it? Like it's like there are some people who do black humor, right? And I mean, it can be funny. Like I find black humor funny, but are you doing it because you genuinely think it's funny, or you doing it just for the effect, like, you know, the effect you have on people, like, oh, he just said that, damn, okay. But if it's in the context of a really actually funny joke, then it's cool. Like I don't know who, I think Louis C.K. it's a good example of that. He says slurs, and but there are people, of course, who are offended. But when I look at him, it's it seems like he's just aiming for the art and not for the surprise. I don't know if I can explain it correctly. Like,
he's not like Quentin Tarantino. He's like, I gotta say the nigga like so many times. It's why? Because I can. I gotta. Yeah. But no, it's like true, because I've seen a lot of comedians who've like, they seem like, okay, it's not even funny. It's just like you just wanted a way, a context. No, you wanted to say that. You just
it's also like, trying to be edgy, right?
Yeah, being too edgy is like, we see you trying to be edgy. It's not edgy if it's trying to be edgy. It's a try hard. It's like
it's weird. Like, I mean, I'm sure like there's some, I don't know.
I feel like you're like, I'm like holding yourself back, like
No. It's because I don't even know like what I think. Like, it's weird. like my opinion, like I haven't like thought about it like deeply enough to have a like a clear opinion. That's why I'm thinking right now, and that's why it seems like I'm holding him back. But
no.
just thinking.
Yeah, no, but I understand the whole thing about black humor. It's like it's edgy, and if it's like the point is you have to make a joke out of it. And so like I've heard some jokes, and I'm like, it's not good, but you could have made it good. You could have made it good if you made it come full circle, or at least had the audience in mind so that they could also be part of it. Because it's become edgy, becomes that thing is I want to be edgy. Now I'm being like edgy in the sense of let me say something that makes the crowd laugh, but it's more of that. Yeah,
because I feel like okay, you can objectively you can say whatever you want. Okay, that's what I agree. Like for the pursuit of the art, I guess, or whatever. You can say whatever you want, but in
just gotta put this.
Oh, sorry.
No,
you can say whatever you want, but you gotta just I don't even know how to say, like, you gotta do it well. I don't know. Like, you gotta do it well.
Yeah. You gotta do it well. You gotta make sure that you're actually funny about it.
Yeah, you gotta do it well. Yeah.
You gotta be funny about it. Yeah. And so you're saying you're trying new techniques out, new types, but like I want to go back to like because that's why, like I said, it was very drastic change. What, like, from the time you dyed your hair and all that stuff, what was that like? That change, because it was a really big change, and it was like, wow. So I always wanted to know, like, how did you get there? Because it was, this is Johnny, but no, this is Johnny,
I'll be honest. I didn't feel this switch. Like it just happened. Like I didn't feel like night and day. Like today I'm gonna do this and focus on this. I don't know. It just happened. Like I don't even remember like if it was before or after I dyed my hair, but there was definitely, like, of course there was a change. At some point I just felt more comfortable on stage. I just of course when I watch this video, by the way, I still feel like I don't enunciate my words completely, and that's a sign of still nervousness. And not being confident about my jokes. If I was confident about my jokes, I will just say it. And also, I don't want to like blame it on me trying to replicate an American accent, because I studied English. So like I tried, like there was during COVID a period of my life where I spoke English, right? But I wanted to have an American accent, and one of the things about American accent is just not almost not like saying things like really like
not stopping.
Just
connecting everything together.
Connecting everything together, like not saying the full word. And it's I don't know. It's
it's very hard. Very hard to understand. You Italians tell us that we eat our words.
You eat your words.
Eat your words.
But okay. Let's go back to the switch.
But what was it? The accent you were trying to get?
Just like a neutral American accent.
Neutral one.
Okay. Like not even like from a specific region. Just an American guy.
Like the show, American guy. That's what I was watching. American guy, I got that. No, it's funny because I have like, I don't know, you can't hear it now, but I had like a very thick accent coming here when I first started. I have a Rhode Island accent, and a Rhode Island accent is like between a Boston accent and a New York accent. And I lived here 7 years now, and so I've lost that because I tutor English, and no one could understand me, man.
Damn.
You know how annoying it is? It's like, excuse me, what'd you say? And I had to repeat that over and over again. That's really annoying. So I was like, okay, I obviously am talking too fast, so I need to enunciate my words. And the funny thing is, like, beyond all this, like, you should know, I was like, I stayed back when I was in first grade, and like I was actually had like a speech impediment. So I had I actually went to class for speech. So it's like now I'm here and I'm teaching people. I'm like, yes, you have to enunciate your words, But the thing is, like, I had a huge accent, and people couldn't understand me, which was getting away in my work because it's like you need to understand me, and so I realized like I need to like move my lips more. I need to slow it down and a lot of stuff, which then I lost a lot of it, except when I'm drunk. When I'm drunk, it comes out. It's like my like Rhode Island.
What about when you go back home? Like,
see, when I go back home, that's strange. I went back. I haven't been home last year was the first time I went back home in over like 4 years, right? And so I hadn't been home in 4 years. And when I went home, I went to go see one of my teachers, and they're like, "Wow, Eddie, like you sound different. Like your cadence is completely changed, you know." And I think a lot of people started like, "Oh, where are you from? You're not like, you know, it's like you're not like, you know." And I was started to hear my friends, you know, because I remember I made this joke with someone. It's like, you know, for us Rhode Islanders, we have like, you know, park your car, which is park your car. Go park your car. Yeah. But we don't hear that because we say it to each other, go park your car, you know, go get your car keys. We don't say Taylor, we say Taylor. We don't say the OR, you know. And so we have that like at the end, so kind of is like mushed together, as you say. And so like we don't realize that until maybe you go out. And so when I came back, I was like, oh damn, they have big accents, you know. This is how I've been talking my whole life, you know. I can't understand myself, you know, like I can't understand them. I was like, you know, so it is that difference of the accent. Yeah,
I like it though. It's unique. I like the fact that there are like differences between regions, like anywhere, like even here in Italy, in the US, even in China, like it's just interesting. Like
my favorite is like the Italian, not the Italian, the Tuscan one, just because they don't say like the C's. Ho ho hola. You like it? No, don't like I'm funny. It's like say ho ho hola, yeah? Say Coca Cola with the carnuccia. Yeah. So it's like that. So like I see like, you know, they had this semblance or whatever. So yeah, so you're in the story. We completely
where did we go?
Where do we go? Where are we?
Switch.
The switch. Yeah.
No, for me it felt gradual. Felt just I started here and slowly like I felt more comfortable, and then from the joke about me being gay, I guess, I was like, okay, I can say, I don't have to. I don't know. I feel like before I put the limitations on my comedy, like I feel like maybe, you know, being random, being like saying. At some point, I just felt comfortable saying things that made me fun, like made me laugh, and I added that to my bits, and it worked, and that gave me confidence for the next time, and I kept doing it, kept doing it, and I don't know if it's good, but maybe it's. I mean, I came up with 10 good minutes now, and. It works. It works. Like I tried it like so many times, and it works like 95% of the times. It works.
The crowd is always receptive. Yeah, you always get them, and that's the thing. I'm like, damn, you know. Like
and I don't know if it's good because I'm also like I'm not trying new things. Like I'm not trying new things as often as I want to, because also because I'm not writing as much, but also because I'm a little bit afraid to bomb on stage. But it's not good because it's part of the process, right?
Yeah, it's part of the process.
And and I'm not doing it. Like I had these 10 minutes who work very, very well. I got spoiled by these 10 minutes. I do it and it works every time. Why should I do anything else? Yeah. But now I'm like okay, I gotta add more stuff. I gotta try new things. But yeah, just being more confident by my sets and every time I do it.
No, it's funny. Like I think I'm trying to make some new terminology or whatever every once in a while. I think I'd call it the good joke curse, because it's a good joke and it works. The curse is that it's so good. Do you want to really leave it? You know? Yeah. And because I found a lot of comedians like, but it's a really good joke and it hits and all that stuff. But it's always the murky feel of like, if I do something else and it doesn't go, it's like, you know. And so
there's a lot of ego involved in comedy. Like if people laugh, you feel on top of the world. Yeah. And if people don't laugh, you feel like not good. Yeah.
You're like, damn.
Yeah, it just it hits you in the ego. Like it's almost like you want to make a joke to your friends, and no one laughs.
And no one laughs. And you think later on, you're like, did you hear the joke that Johnny said? That was horrible. You know, he's like,
I gotta distinguish that because I gotta look at it from another perspective. It's just, you know, it's part of the process. You gotta do it to improve, and that's what I'm trying to do the next few times. I'm gonna do open mics. I'm gonna try to just new stuff every time. Yeah. I'm gonna do I'll try doing that the next few times. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have this thing. I think I started like, I don't know why. It's like the need to always like do like I have ADHD, which will be another
Right.
another podcast, but not another episode. But like I have this need to always do something. Like I'm like, okay, something spontaneous. Like, okay, I need something. Like I get so tired of doing the same thing over and over again because I just like, no, I can't like live. And so I always have this like, okay, something new. So it's made this thing for myself that's like I have this rule for myself. I'll never do the same like joke 3 times. Like I'll do a joke 3 times in a row in 3 different places, but then when I do that the next time, I have to do something else. And so then I'm like, okay, I need that kind of forces me to be like, okay, or if I by the 3rd week, for example, I don't have something new, I'm like, okay, let me retry old joke I haven't done in a while, so that I can see. But like it's always that idea of like you come, like you should do the joke multiple times, of course, that's very important. But also I'm like, I get that like, oh, if someone comes, it's happened a couple of times where I was gonna say a joke and I noticed one person in the crowd and they're like, oh, they came and they saw me and did this joke. I need to do something else, damn, because I was just like, I don't want you to see the same joke. I don't want you to be like, and so like
I get it.
But most of the time it's new people. But that's my thing is that if one person, even though most likely it's not gonna happen, if one person, I want them to see like a new experience, and so I'm like. Yeah, it's my
That's fine. That's fine. They don't pay for it. So.
Yeah, they don't. It's for free, but it's like I'm gonna give you a show. It's like, dude, I don't care. It's free for me, like
It's so funny that I never met someone with ADHD until I did comedy.
Yeah.
And then I met 3 people: you, Paolo, and Justino. Like, damn, okay.
No, it's funny. I was watching Trevor Noah, and he said something. He has ADHD too, and he's like, I think like comedy is a place for people who have ADHD because it's a moment where you get on stage and you get so many distractions, and you use that for your comedy. That like most of the time in other contexts it wouldn't make sense. Like if you're saying something and they're like, okay, this thing, you're like, what the hell are you talking about? Like if you were to do this thing like to people, like what the hell? But like
at some point, I never met someone with ADHD, but I heard about it on I don't know.
It's like, what is that? That weird thing? No, it doesn't exist.
I almost thought that it was like
it's a lie.
I almost thought it was something like OCD, that everyone thinks that they have it but they don't. Like, I like to have everything neat and in order. I have OCD. No, you just. You don't have anything. You just like to be like,
Yeah, you want to be noticed. Yeah.
Not noticed, but just,
exactly. You like things clean. You like things clean. Yeah. But then you saw comedy.
Yeah, it's like, oh wait, okay, it's real. It's a real thing.
I think maybe if you had seen conversations between me and Justino, you could like, they were like going off tangents. Like it's like, where are we going with this? We were talking about this.
I swear to God, the other night at Yellow Square, you were like talking, and at some point, Justino saw people pass and just completely left the conversation in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
It's like, that's just That's funny. Me and Justino have this joke back and forth. It's like, you have ADHD. It's like, yeah, you have ADHD too. It's like, you just did that thing. It's very ADHD of you. It's like, And so it's interesting because, in comedy, I think this is the one place where it does work, and other places it's just kind of weird. But like in these kind of tad bits, it's like, I can see where you're going with this because it's random. It's out. Think what it is that in regular context, it's like that's so off the script of what you should do. Yeah. So it's like, but in comedy, it's perfect because everyone wants something that's completely different off the script. So like if you do that, it's like, I wasn't expecting that. That's funny,
Yeah. I mean. We went on another tangent.
You went on another tangent. Where were we before?
This switch.
I got this switch. Go back.
But yeah, I think I'm still on the. If I think about it on a chart, I'm still like going up. Like I'm still like going up, and just improving a little bit every single time. And I enjoy this. I enjoy this like a lot. Like I don't know. Also, when I like the whole process, like before the joke, being there in the venue, like being excited to like show people what I got. Like it's just I don't know. I love the fact that I found something that I love. It's and I'm so grateful for it. And that's when I don't know if I like don't enjoy it anymore. Like I think it's also like one of the reasons why I guess I'm improving fast. Is because I love it so much. Like I don't know. I love it because it's a passion, but also like, you know, it's good for the ego. So like, it's not good for the ego, but
feed the ego.
Feed the ego.
Feed the ego. Yeah.
But I don't know. It's overall like a very, very nice feeling to have.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I'm not lost.
Mm-hmm.
Like before, like doing this, I was in school, like in university, and I don't know. Maybe it's not normal, but I loved the university because it had structure. It had goals, like little goals every year, and every day you study, you are like striving for those goals, right? You just there was an objective at the end. There was like something at the end of the tunnel, and I felt good knowing that, just waking up every day and just studying or whatever, like just striving for something. It felt nice. And when I graduated, I lost all of that. Now that there wasn't like a deadline at some point, it was just infinite horizon.
Just always like,
and
that's done, something else.
And it's scary. It's like you feel lost you try things, right? I worked in a company for a couple of months, and then I wasn't satisfied with that. I went back to my parents. I was like, there's more freedom. There's there's more money, and even there, like I didn't know what is that. Gianni says, let's say so. I don't know if I just felt without almost lifeless. I don't know. It's just it's weird, and I always thought about comedy. Always thought about it, and I did it. And now I feel good.
Yeah.
Then now it just feels nice. Just I want to like I don't know. I feel like I'm good with comedy being something that I even if it's not like if I don't do it professionally, even if I do like open mics my whole life while I work a normal job, I think I will be satisfied with that. And I don't know, like I feel like a lot of people do comedy I mean, of course, like they kind of want to like have their recognition and get to the next level, right? Do it for a living and all of that. But I feel like when you aim for that, only for that, you lose a little bit of the love for what comedy is, right? Like I feel myself sometimes losing myself in fantasies of me being famous at some point. But if you focus on that, you lose like sight of what just you're just saying jokes just around like a bunch of people.
Why you started?
Yeah, you're just saying jokes on a bunch of people. I feel like if I don't lose sight of that, I don't know if I can keep this as my passion, as my I guess purpose or whatever.
Would you want to do like? Would you like? I guess if it came to you that you could go to the next step and do it more and make it, would you do it?
Yep. Yeah, definitely, for sure. But I have to make a survivable living out of it at least.
Yeah.
But also like if there's an opportunity, of course I'm gonna take it. But I just wanna do comedy. Just I mean, if I'm gonna do it because I love it, and if something comes, I'll take it. That's it. That's what I think. Yeah.
I like that idea. It's like I don't have expectations of anything. So if anything does come, I'm happy. But if also it's for me, it's about the comedy. Yeah,
because there, of course, maybe you gotta have ambition, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna be famous or whatever, and I agree with that also. But I don't know. It's in between being realistic and also, just focusing on. Like you wanna be, you are doing comedy because you love it, or you're doing comedy because you wanna be famous, or you wanna be, or whatever you wanna achieve, something you wanna. Because at the end, if you get to that next level and you reached it, and that was your objective, and you reach that objective, then what? Are you still motivated to do comedy, to write? Because you already, like, if, for example, let's do a hypothetical. You get a special and you get millions of dollars
Mm-hmm.
in your bank account, you reached it. Yeah, you
Yeah.
are on that. You're at that point that you dreamt of your whole life. But then what?
Yeah.
Do you still love doing? Are you willing to keep doing comedy like in a whatever open mic for free or whatever? I think you gotta have that type of mindset to, I guess, to be good at something in general. I think.
Yeah.
And,
For me, I like to think of like the crowd. And that's probably why I'm always like, I need to, because it's like I like the energy from the crowd. That's one of the things. It's not even like even like sometimes having crowd working with someone and just like talking to them, and sometimes I'm just talking to you. Hey man, like I'm not even like, I'm just talking to you. Like if I was to see you on the street, I just happen on the stage, I'm just talking to you, and like it's fun because then like I remember I did this crowd work with this lady and she was telling me about her job, and she's like, what do you do? She's like, yeah, for my job essentially, I sit in a meeting and I just like draw pictures for the meeting and they pay me. I was like, you scribble and you get paid for that?
Damn.
I was like, damn, that's the best. I used to do that in high school and in middle school, and I got in trouble. You get paid for that? And like I said it in that way, and it was just a fun thing. And then she came out and she's like, actually, it was very funny. Like, yeah, I do scribble. I do get like paid for that. And it's like, I love it. But it was just like having that conversation and like, that dialogue with people that most of the time you don't really talk to newer people in that way, because you always, but I've met so many people being in these stages and whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's nice.
It's nice. Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. Okay, interesting.
Another tangent. Yeah, the switch.
ADHD, man. What could I say? But that's what makes it fun, I guess. Like no, sorry.
So yeah, I mean, still developing. I feel like a year from now I'm gonna be different, and and so on. And so but I'm glad that it was that noticeable. The improvement.
Yeah.
And,
it is definitely. No, I mean, I have to give you your props. You're doing really good. You're like killing it right now, and I feel like you've honed in your skills, and you're like really exploring this, like exploring yourself. Because I think when you get up there, you see more of yourself. I feel like I feel like I think that's what makes comedians really great, is that you have a sense of that's their identity. They have this identity, and you have your joke, and you have your niche that says that's Johnny's niche. I think I've tried to do it. I was like, nah, I can't do that. That's just, I can't do it. That's Johnny. Like if I'm doing that, I'm just copying Johnny. And so that's the thing. And I respect the fact that you came and you did this and you started and you keep going and you're still here and and I think the crowd is receptive to you because they see that. They see the genuine idea of you as a person, and it's not trying to be a stick. It's not supposed to be like something that's like made up. It's you, and that makes it authentic, and that's what makes it even more funny.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. Sometimes I don't know. I have so many opinions about what a comedy. I don't know. Like, it's another thing about being funny. To me, like my style is it's about really not being too pretentious. I don't want to talk shit about like my style is more about like, I don't know. I can't. There are some comedians who are, like Carlin, right? Like in his jokes, there's almost like a lesson to be taken from every joke he says. But I can't do that. Like, but because most of the time I feel like, who the hell am I to teach you anything? So, and that's me. And if I try, like, if I'm being authentic, I think the crowd can feel that. I'm not trying to, just impose something to the crowd, and just like my style is more about like being lighthearted. And maybe, I don't know, that's me. And maybe in the future I'm gonna change, like personality wise, and my comedy is gonna change too. And I don't know. It's just like I feel like the crowd feels like it can tell if you're not authentic. If you are trying to put on a persona that you're not, and I really feel like the crowd can feel that, and if you're authentic enough, and the crowd, it's not gonna make the crowd laugh. They think I'm authentic, no, but it can ease the crowd.
It ease them. Yeah.
They're less barrier from the crowd to the laugh, right? Like you can,
exactly.
it's easier for them to
You
laugh.
disarm them from their
Yeah.
like, you know, like, oh, can I trust or not? And they're like, okay. And this person's being real. I can sense they're real. Okay, I can put down my.
Yeah, that's why also because that's why I also introduce myself.
Mm-hmm.
You can know who I am, and then I make the gay joke because it just doesn't make sense. It's lighthearted, and then everything after that it can be as lighthearted. And I mean, it has worked so far.
No, it does, definitely is.
Yeah.
And like I said, you found your thing, and it works, and you keep digging into that. And I found like a lot of comedians are out there who haven't found it, and also not exploring, but also haven't. So you see them, and you're like, okay, I get an understanding. But I feel like let's go deeper, you know, like that you have to be authentic, and so if you're not, then people can feel it, and then they can sense it, and then they kind of like, oh, this is not really you, so are you lying to me? And the one thing that you should never do is lie to the audience. You can make fun of them, you can do, but you never want to, because they're putting their guard down to be like, okay, I'm listening to you, and then you can misdirect them. That's fine. They want to be misdirected, but they don't want to be. I think I had this conversation. They don't want to be lied to. It's like, oh, so you made me think this whole time. How dare you?
But also, I think it's don't make the crowd hostile to you.
Yeah.
Don't like how do you say? Don't reprimand them.
Yeah.
If they're, I don't know, just be treat the crowd as a friend.
Exactly.
Because you need them and they need you. Like
exactly. It's a two-way street.
Yeah.
You know, you want to make them laugh, but you also need their laugh to keep going. You know, and so it's and I've seen a lot of comedians who are very hostile, can be hostile to the crowd, and it never works out. It never works out.
Yeah, like if you, I don't know, you say something gets bad to them, you can feel it in the air. Like, oh God. Now they're not gonna laugh at anything you say after.
Now it's like they're gonna take it personal because it is personal.
Even if it's gotta be something crazy funny because because
you gotta spin that, you know, man. Spin it. You know, you couldn't say it, but spin it good, you know, like. Don't make it like that, man. Damn, like slap them in their face pretty much. Like, go off the stage and go back up. Like, okay, so you're like, of course they're gonna be mad.
Definitely.
So I think actually one question: how far are we in it? Like, oh, okay, perfect. We're fast. One last question I'd like to ask, and I think I've asked this question to a lot of community, like everyone who's come here, and I just want to ask in this way, like for yourself, what advice would you give to someone who's starting? And if that's too broad, what advice would you give to yourself when you first started?
To myself, start sooner. I don't know. But I mean, the advice I could give myself would probably be just don't be scared. Say whatever you want. If you're funny, just say it.
That's it.
Don't try to think about what would make other people. I mean, you gotta think about it, but in the beginning, especially, you don't know what makes people laugh. So start from what makes you laugh, and then gain more experience slowly from the beginning, and go on and on and on. You're gonna get experience, and then you're gonna know what makes you laugh and what makes the crowd laugh. And I don't know. That's what I got from my year. I don't know. I don't have a lot of experience. I need advice too.
Please, someone give it to me.
No.
That's really good. First, so I want to say thank you for coming on.
Okay.
Also, I'd like you to say thank you for guys watching. This is being sponsored by Arcade Studios Podcast, so thank you to them. And if you like to click subscribe, follow them, and check out what they're doing. So totally great. Thank you guys for watching us, and thank you for coming in, man.
Thank you. It was fun. Thank you.